Okay, this will be an interesting one. We'll see if we can make this look good. Even though it's not a good topic, I think we're going to make this pretty large. Going 400 for this, or maybe we're just gonna look at that after we've whatever. Sorry. Let's see how we go with this. Going to leave it in the middle, I think, assuming it's going to fit the page, if it's not going to be too small. So I'm wondering if it's going to be the right size this time. Okay, we forgot one thing, and that is to take out some of the background on this. This is a piece out of paper, so you've got to expect it to be a little bit backgroundy at least. So what is it? It is another one of these. It's from a newspaper talking about the dangers of feeding your children, allowing your children to eat too many lollies on Halloween. But basically, I've got more of a problem with the idea that people dress up or decorate their house with occult and how should I put it? Slasher type stuff, horror. The horror theme. I do find the horror theme quite offensive. I mean, it doesn't cripple me being offended by it, but basically I don't agree with it because I believe that Halloween is not for children, at least not the fact of it being, it is to do with murder or killing and slaughtering. And horror themes. It's not good for children. Children can get mentally ill, and it's not good for anyone because who knows, it might cause people to become homicidal maniacs trying to copy the horror in real life. So they might end up wanting to do it in real life, killing and also getting involved with occult spiritual practices. I do believe there's a spiritual issue with Halloween, which is often overlooked, and basically we can't ignore that because kids could end up with mental health problems. They could become homicidal. They might, as I said, they might develop a lust for blood and guts, and they may want to act it out in real life. So that's a really bad problem to have in society if that happens. Even if it's a rarity, it's not worth it. If we could save one child from ending up like that, it'll be worth boycotting Halloween. But there are other issues as well. Of course, another thing also is the environment. The environment is important, and there's a lot of plastics involved in Halloween props, and I do have reason to believe that most of these plastics are non-recyclable, like that fake spider web material that you see put on people's front, on the fence or the hedges out the front, this white synthetic material, that can't be recycled. So common sense dictates that it's not acceptable to have that. These props are bad for the planet. And also, they're manufactured, like most things, in China. And I'd hate to think how bad these plastics factories are in China to work in. They're probably hot, smelly, there's probably loads of nasty chemicals, and they don't get paid much. So it's not fair for human rights. And also there's another issue, and I've accidentally put this fucking dumb machine on gloss. See, I accidentally pressed the buttons on this. This is distracting me from my talk. But basically I didn't want gloss mode. See, I didn't want that. Fuck gloss. This is stupid. This is another issue I have main problems with, is fucking how these machines are manufactured. And like the Halloween outfits, they're manufactured, heaps of it's manufactured in China. But basically, the people in China work hard and they do what they do, and they don't get much gratitude from it. Surely not, because they don't get paid much, and it's shit work. Working in a plastics factory, a primitive one, I'd say. It can't be very advanced. So basically, that's no good. And the other thing I was about to mention when I got distracted by my photocopier is the issue of pedophilia. if your children go out by themselves, they may encounter a pedophile who could easily suck them in, seduce them with chocolates and lollies, and then sexually abuse them or rape them even. So you've got to look after your children. So this Halloween is not a celebration worthy of anything. It should be banned. There could be ways of improving things, like maybe make sure we don't buy too many lollies, don't get too carried away, but maybe buy a bag of lollies and have the children share it amongst their friends, invite them over for movies and chocolates and lollies, and let them watch some nice videos, maybe play computer games, just socialise with your friends. You don't need to go on the street and beg for lollies. It's almost like begging, but it's not quite. But basically you can avoid some of these problems. And, it can be just a nice little social night you can have with your friends at your parents' house. So think of it that way, folks. We can change things. We've got to boycott this shit. It's not necessary and it's not healthy. So now I've just said my piece. I've got to go.